Yo, 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 welcome to Outta Pocket with RG3, hosted by your boy and the lovely, amazing 87-time All-American, Grete Griffin. That's right, people. Welcome to the show. We're excited to have you here. So we need you to go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right. Go ahead and move the mouse over. Click, 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 click. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about and who you want us to bring on the show next, because we got some guests coming in. Ooh, you guys are going to love them a lot. So let's get rolling, baby. What we got on the show?
Opening drive, as usual. The rookie duo of Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo combined for 5 touchdowns to give the New York Giants a historic 34-17 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football. The Giants haven't beaten the reigning Super Bowl champions since 1998, and the Giants are 2-1 since making the switch from Russell Wilson to Jackson Dart. So is Jackson Dart the franchise QB that the New York Giants have been looking for since, Eli Manning left?
I have to say, yes, Jackson Dart is the franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. If you ask Brian Daboll, you don't even got to ask him. Just watch him on the sidelines. You listen to him when they have him mic'd up, and he's like, that's our fucking guy. He is excited to have Jackson Dart. And I'll take it a step further. I think Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo will bring a Super Bowl championship to New York before it's all said and done.
Oh.
And when you look at them, it's the moxie. You hear this a lot about quarterbacks that maybe aren't as talented. Well, Jackson Dart has the ability to make plays with his legs. He's got a big arm, so he can make all the throws. And he's got this air of confidence about him that really sprinkles down to everybody else on the team. And then you bring in Cam Skattebo. Now, this guy, not everybody knows this, but Skattebo started over at Sacramento State. This is a running back who runs through brick walls, literally uses walls to get his helmet right before the games. And anytime you have a guy like that, he's like missing a screw or two. Like, he's a little crazy. One of his teammates even said the guy is legit an idiot. And like, they mean that in like an endearing way, like a loving way. But I've been most impressed with their relationship and how they interact with each other.
I love that. It's all the videos online that we've seen have been such good camaraderie between the two of them, and that's what you want to see. But I want to talk about one more thing that came from that game that was kind of going viral. It was the 4 straight tush pushes from the Eagles. And people are, going crazy over the tush push as usual and saying that they don't want it, it should be banned. What is your take for the last time on the tush push?
The Philadelphia Eagles have pushed the tush too far.
You guys are abusing the tush at this point.
They are abusing the tush, okay? Here's what I would say.
Oh, boy.
When Michael Jordan shoots his fadeaway, no one says ban the fadeaway. I've used that before. When Steph Curry starts shooting threes from half court, no one says, let's ban 3-pointers from half court. When alley-oops, remember Lob City, the Clippers with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, when they were dominating with those lobs, no one said, let's ban the alley-oop. And the reason they didn't is because it was entertaining. Because the play was entertaining, and we are entertainers at the end of the day, the fans didn't have a problem with it. The 4 straight tush pushes, it became, are we using strategy to win games and move the chains and score touchdowns, or is it becoming inevitable? So here's what I think needs to happen with the tush push. I think the push part of it needs to be banned. Ban the push. You can't ban quarterback sneaks. That's been in the fabric of football since the beginning of time. But you can ban people coming behind the quarterback and being able to push him forward to go get that extra yard or to push him forward to get into the end zone. I'm less about this because of the entertainment value. I'm more about it for the safety of the players now and really just the safety of the game. Whenever you see an overwhelming majority of fans come together and say, you know what, this is not what I love. Even Philadelphia Eagles fans are saying, hey, we've had enough of the tush push. It's too much. You got to stop. I think it's time to move that part of it out of the game. And they have to at least officiate it accurately. You got to call false start. There was a number of those tush pushes that were false starts by the offensive lineman. You have to officiate it correctly. But for me, I think it's time for the push in the tush to go away.
I totally agree.
The guys at True Classic started with the simple mission to bring premium, comfortable clothing to the masses, because looking and feeling great shouldn't come with the designer price tag. And clearly, people agree. People vote with their dollars, and True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers and racking up over 200,000 five-star reviews. This brand isn't just about fabric or fit, it's about helping guys show up every day with confidence and purpose. Their shirts fit where they should, they feel incredible, and they don't break the bank. You get that tailored look without sacrificing comfort or blowing your budget. I've been wearing True Classic for a while now, and you can feel the difference the moment you throw one on. It's tailored where you want it, relaxed where you need it, no bunching, no stiff fabric, no BS, just a clean, effortless fit that actually works for real life. So forget overpriced designer brands, skip the cheap throwaway stuff. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can find them on Amazon, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, or head to trueclassic.com/RG3 to try them out for yourself. That's RG and the number 3, trueclassic.com/RG3.
Alright, guys, viral spiral number 1. Penn State has fired their head coach James Franklin after 12 seasons. After 3 consecutive losses to Oregon, UCLA, and their latest loss on Saturday to Northwestern 22-21. Now, Penn State will still owe James Franklin more than $49 million. So who should be the Penn State's next head coach, baby?
Shit, it should be me. You talking about they gonna pay head coaches just to fire them and pay them $49 million not to coach?
Yep.
Sign me up, buddy. Okay. But seriously, Penn State, they should hire Curt Cignetti, the head coach of Indiana.
Okay.
Why? Because he's the best coach in the country right now. And not only that, he's coaching the best team in the country.
Well,
that's right. That's right. I said it.
Well, Indiana, who was ranked number 7, did just beat number 3 Oregon 30-20 and gave the Ducks the first Big Ten regular season loss. So, and Indiana's now 6-0. They're undefeated. And the QB, Fernando Mendoza, threw for 215 yards and had a late touchdown, while Oregon's Dante Moore, he kind of struggled under pressure. He had 2 interceptions and got sacked 6 times. So this was Indiana's, one of his, in the modern program history at least, one of their biggest wins.
Yeah, exactly-mundo. Indiana is the best team in the country, and Curt Cignetti has them playing at a high level. And I understand people are wary because of last year. They got blown out in the college football playoff, and that makes you hold that against them. But they went on the road and beat Oregon, who I had ranked as the number 1 team in the country going into this week, in front of a sold-out crowd. That, to me, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Oregon was the man, and Indiana did it.
Well, what about Ohio State?
What do you mean, what about Ohio State? I know, Ohio State, number 1 in the AP poll. And yes, they're the reigning national champions, and they have looked impressive this year. But I do believe Indiana is the best team in the country because of the way they beat Oregon. They harassed the quarterback.
Yeah.
6 sacks, 2 interceptions. They held Oregon to 2.7 yards per carry and only let them run for 80 yards in the game. But it's even more than that for me. Ohio State just beat number 17 Illinois 34-16. Well, what did Indiana do to them? Indiana mollywopped them 63-10. That's right. You watch the game, watch the tape. I promise you, go watch the tape. Ohio State capitalized off of penalties and turnovers when they played against Illinois. But Indiana didn't have to do that. They just dominated them from the first whistle. Look at these numbers. Indiana ran for 312 yards. Fernando Mendoza threw for 5 touchdowns in their game a few weeks ago. Indiana only gave up 2 rushing yards the entire game to Illinois. 2! And not only that, they went 5 for 5 in the red zone. Winning teams scored touchdowns in the red zone. Indiana went 5 for 5. And they were 8 for 11 on third downs. You win the money down, you win in the red zone, and Ohio State won their game against Illinois, but they didn't dominate the same way that Indiana did. And last time I checked, the committee's looking at things like opponents and what you did against these different teams. So my number 1 team in the country just beat the number 1 team in the country in Oregon, in my opinion. So now Indiana wears the crown. Indiana is the team to beat in all of college football.
I like it.
Right now, we're in the heart of the game. It's that Christmas time of year for sports, and Fox Sports has what you're looking for. I'm talking about the NFL, college football, the MLB postseason, and even more to come. Fox Sports keeps it simple. There's a lot of ball happening, and you don't want to be the one who misses out. But you don't have to do it with yet another subscription service, because with a pay TV provider, you get access to the best and most live sports through not 3, not 2, but just one regular old monthly subscription. Yep, just one. Then Fox Sports is yours. Now that sounds like an easy game plan to manage. Skip the switching and the swapping between apps, the signing up for this just to watch that, and then forgetting you signed up for it 7 days later. One thing I love about it, if there's 2 games going at once, I can just switch back and forth without needing to access multiple apps. I never miss a moment of the best football action across Fox, FS1, Big Ten Network, and other networks with a pay TV subscription. So don't wait till the next kickoff to make it happen. Head to www.watchfoxsports.com/RG3 to catch more of the action through one subscription. Then Fox Sports is yours, and it's game on all weekend long.
All right, Viral Spiral number 2. Texas beat number 6 Oklahoma in the Red River. Ooh, that's tough to say.
That is right.
Red River rivalry.
Say that 7 times fast.
Red River rivalry.
Red River rivalry.
Ooh, I can't do it. Red River rivalry. 23-6, handing Oklahoma their first loss of the season. Texas QB Arch Manning went 21 of 27 for 166 yards and hit the 12-yard touchdown to DeAndre Moore Jr. just after halftime to take control of the game. The Longhorns defense dominated, forcing multiple turnovers and holding Oklahoma's offense to just field goals. Oklahoma had their QB, John Mateer, back, who had just 17 days prior broken a bone in his throwing hand. He said he was ready to go physically, but mentally he did not perform after throwing 3 interceptions. What is your takeaway from the game, and do you think the Longhorns finally shut the haters up?
Well, my takeaway from the game is that Texas Longhorn defense is something serious. Listen, they held Oklahoma to just 258 total yards and prevented them from scoring a touchdown. 5 sacks, 3 interceptions, and they even threw in a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown by Ryan Niblett to seal the game. So you asked, did they shut up the haters? Every Texas hater out there wants them to suck. They want Arch Manning to be a bust, but the truth is, Texas is a good football team that is finding their way. Now I'm going to take you through this. Texas lost to Ohio State and Florida, but beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost to Texas, but beat Michigan. Michigan lost to Oklahoma and USC, but beat Nebraska, and Nebraska lost to Michigan, but beat Cincinnati.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what it means. But what I do know is that Arch Manning is not a bad quarterback. He's a young quarterback. And some young quarterbacks right now are playing at a high level, and Arch isn't. But Arch and Texas just aren't as good as they were overall as a team last year. And that's okay. They're finding their way at 4-2. And when I look at Oklahoma, I have this question for them. Was bringing John Mateer back early really in his best interest or the team's best interest? I understand that he's a dynamic quarterback, but sometimes you got to keep your dynamic QB on the shelf so he can heal fully. For many reasons. You might need him later in the season, but also the longevity of his career. And also this, when we look back on this season, we're not going to say that Oklahoma lost to Texas because John Mateer was simply coming off of injury. He was out there. He was playing. We're going to say that John Mateer in Oklahoma lost to Texas for the 2nd straight season. That is the outcome. He throws 3 interceptions and doesn't look like himself. Was that really in his best interest? I don't think it was. But this, to me, and this whole exercise is why I'm really, really tired of preseason rankings. Because preseason rankings are really only there to give media members like myself and my wife and networks an opportunity to hype up games, create storylines, give us something to talk about. And what ends up happening is teams get preseason rankings because they're blue blood programs, because they have massive fan bases, and because they were good 2, 3, 4 years ago. The problem in today's college football is that now with NIL and the transfer portal, these teams are different every single year. Penn State, for instance, they get ranked number 2 in the preseason rankings. And they just lost to UCLA and Northwestern. We need to eliminate preseason rankings, period. You're telling me that if you build Alabama versus Georgia, Ohio State versus Michigan, Oregon against Penn State when they have their new head coach, probably Curt Cignetti, you're telling me that you can't sell that game in the media? You can't sell that game to the fans? Yes, you can. Texas A&M. You can sell that game to the fans. Yeah. There's no need to put that ranking in front of them, because what the ranking also does is it affects how the College Football Playoff Committee is judging and how they're voting. Because guess what? Florida was a top 15 team when LSU beat them. But we've now found out that LSU and Florida really aren't that good. So now if they have that top 15 ranking and the committee is voting based off of that, you're going to get teams that are in the playoff simply because they're in a certain conference. And I don't think listen, life's not fair, but that's not fair to these young men who are going out there and putting everything on the line every single Saturday, some Fridays, some Wednesdays, some Thursdays. That is not fair to them.
You've seen, honestly, we've talked about it sometimes after the games and the weekend, where a big school or a school with like cult following, as you said, loses and they still stay in the rankings because they don't want to take them out. But then a smaller school or maybe a school with not of a big of a cult following loses and they're gone. Like that's messed up in my opinion also. But I wanted to ask, so what do you think of the new AP poll rankings?
Oh, they're horrible. They're horrible. They're so bad that we're going to go ahead and throw up our Outta Pocket rankings, aka the OP rankings. Throw those up on the screen because I've got a bone to pick about that. And you bring up a very solid point. Some teams don't drop out of the top 25 or top 10 after they've suffered a loss. Yeah. And it's because of the patch that is on their jersey.
Exactly.
And no team should be ranked just because of the patch on their jersey. What I mean by the patch, I mean SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC. Teams should not be judged and ranked just because they're in a certain conference. Yep. And that's what we have going on here. And particularly, we all know what conference that we're talking about. It's the SEC. The SEC is not as deep as it used to be. Alabama and Georgia are not as deep as they used to be. Their 2s and their 3s and the depth on their roster has been splattered out across the entire country because now everybody can pay their players. Everybody can use NIL the legal way to go out and get players. They're talking to me about left tackles, backup left tackles in college football making $800,000 a year. $800,000, and I'm happy for him. Go get your money, boo-boo. I'm happy for you. But that's the kind of money that we're talking about. So if you look at these rankings, all right, I've got Indiana at number 1, Ohio State at 2, Miami at 3, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, A&M, BYU, Georgia Tech, and then boom, Oregon. And you have to ask yourself, does this guy really think that Georgia Tech, BYU are better than Oregon, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee? And here's what I'll say to that. You bet your sweet hind parts I do, because winning matters. If you are in a Power 4 conference and you are undefeated, Power 4 by that I mean ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. If you are in any of those conferences and you are undefeated, you should never have a one-loss team from a same Power 4 conference ranked ahead of you. I don't care how much you love Alabama. I think they're playing their tails off. But Alabama is sitting at number 10 because they lost to the team sitting at number nothing. That's right. You heard me. Alabama lost to Florida State. Florida State's 3-3 right now. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on Florida State going 13-0 and not making the college football playoffs.
Hey, man, listen. That's a real deal.
Oh my God.
But you see that Indiana's undefeated. Ohio State's undefeated. All these teams in the top 8 are all undefeated. From Power 4 conferences. They have earned their right to be there because winning matters. You might not feel like they're better than some of these other teams that are ranked lower than them, but they've proven it on the field by winning the games that are on their schedule in Power 4 conferences. Yep. So again, I'll say it, the patch on your uniform should not determine where you're ranked. Winning matters. Period.
Spyro, number 3. Jets suck. Justin Fields at this point sucks. They are 0-6 for the season after losing the Denver Broncos, traveling all the way to London and losing to the Broncos to be 0-6. The Broncos to be 0-6. Like, Justin Fields has 9 sacks and 9 completions. The New York Jets finished with minus 10 net yards passing. That seems impossible to do. And the fewest in any game since the Chargers had minus 19 yards passing against the Kansas City Chiefs in 1998 in Ryan Leaf's 3rd career start. Baby, that was 27 years ago. What is wrong with the Jets?
Oh,
should they have drafted a QB or like what's happening?
I think the Jets made the right decision this year in bringing in Justin Fields, taking a flyer on him with his dual threat ability and how dynamic he could be, especially with the roster that they have right now on offense. Really, the only weapons are Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall, which is more than most teams have. But everywhere else, they're a little short on the offensive side of the ball, especially at offensive line. So when you ask me what's wrong, they don't have an eraser. And Justin Fields in college was an eraser. He was a guy that could erase the mistakes of the guys around him. And when you have great quarterbacks and you use that term eraser, if you don't have a great line, they can make up for it. Look at what Joe Burrow did with the Cincinnati Bengals when they went to the Super Bowl. Justin Fields hasn't figured that out yet with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. But I have to say this about Justin Fields. I'm a guy that is particularly positive in general, but also really positive towards quarterbacks. And Justin Fields, at the end of the game against the Broncos in London, he had a 2-play sequence that if you want to be the starting quarterback of the New York Jets for the future, they can't happen. On 3rd down, they run a beautiful play. Offensive coordinator dials it up, and they've got Garrett Wilson wide open on a scout route on the sideline. And Justin Fields missed the throw because he was late to the throw. He threw the ball inside, and it turned what could have been a completion and them continuing to move down the field or getting in field goal range to win the game into a pass breakup. And then he followed that up with taking a sack on 4th down. And when you watch the play, yeah, it's not great protection. But if you're Justin Fields, you have to find a way to give your receiver an opportunity to go make a play. Because simply taking the sack, your 9th of the day, when you've only had 9 completions on the entire game, doesn't work. So for Justin Fields, it's 2 things. If he doesn't start playing better, he's not going to be the quarterback for the New York Jets next year. They're going to replace him. Yep. And the only thing that might be saving him is the fact that the draft class coming up is not that good. And secondly, he needs to find a way to get Garrett Wilson even more involved in the game plan, because Garrett Wilson right now has a 0 in the win column. And in this past game, they had negative 10 passing yards. But if you take away the sacks, Justin Fields only had 45 yards passing. And I will tell you this, NFL wide receivers care about 2 things, winning and their numbers. And if you're not winning, you better get them their numbers. That is a cold reality, because this guy just got paid $100 million and he's not winning. And you just threw for 45 yards passing. Something is brewing. And the only person who can stop it is Justin Fields. He has to find a way to show the league that he can be a starter. And right now he's not doing that.
Here are a couple fun facts for the day.
Love this segment.
Cleveland Browns are currently paying 8 different quarterbacks this season. You heard it right. They're playing 8 QBs. Woo. So they're paying Deshaun Watson $35.9 million. They're paying Jameis Winston $2.2 million. Ooh. They're paying Dylan Gabriel $1.1 million. They're paying Joe Flacco $999,000. They're paying Shedeur Sanders $955,000. They're paying Bailey Zappi $315,000. They're paying Dorian Thompson-Robinson $171,000, and they're paying Kenny Pickett $8,000. How is this possible?
Woo! Well, this is what happens when you have terrible quarterback play and your organization is run like boo-boo, okay? So this is happening because Deshaun Watson's been hurt. He's making $35 million. We all know this is the worst contract in all of football history. Jameis Winston is making 2.2 because, yes, he's not on the team, but his money still carries over from the year that he was. Dylan Gabriel's on the roster. Joe Flacco was on the roster, got traded, so they still had to pay him for what he was there for. Shedeur Sanders is on the roster. Bailey Zappi is on the roster. Dorian Thompson-Robinson was on the roster. Moved him away, so they got to pay him. And then Kenny Pickett got traded, but he made that $8,000 for being there during training camp. So that's a lot of money to pay your quarterbacks, and your coach is about to get fired.
It's a little bit of a deja vu for me because when you were with the Browns, there was also like 5-6 different QBs in one season that all played.
Yeah. They can't win games. They can't keep their guys healthy. And for whatever reason, there's a fracture in the organization from who's picking the quarterback to who's playing the quarterbacks. And right now, Dylan Gabriel isn't playing bad, but he's not playing to win football games. So it's only a matter of time before Shedeur Sanders gets his shot. And I think the entire world is waiting on that.
I am. LeBron James is heading into his 23rd NBA season and has never missed a season opener. Well, the streak will get snapped this month. Apparently, LeBron has been dealing with a nerve injury for the past month or two, which has not allowed him to play much basketball. What does this mean for LeBron's career?
Well, it means it's the beginning of the end. And it's weird to say that because LeBron's been playing for like 77 years, right? But really, this is year 23, I believe, for LeBron. And for a guy that spends millions of dollars taking care of his body, millions of dollars, and has always been like, he's the king of longevity. He's why he's broken a lot of records and had so many opportunities to win NBA championships. That's when you know it's time to hang it up. I think I remember him recently talking about, it's an honor to play with Bronny, but he's not going to wait on Bryce, his son, who's playing at Arizona. If Bryce gets there next year, maybe LeBron is there. But when you start working with those nerves and you're back, as you get older, we went to the game of the Lakers against the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
And that LeBron didn't look like the LeBron who was running around with the Cavs, blocking shots off the backboard with the Heat.
Especially the first half.
He has learned to manage his way through games.
Yes.
So I think people need to appreciate greatness. I don't know if LeBron will ever come out and say, hey, this is my farewell tour. But we need to appreciate what he has given us in the game of basketball because he has helped take it to new heights and new levels. And I know he has his fair share of haters. But at the end of the day, he is the second greatest basketball player of all time. And he needs to be treated as such. Enjoy it while we still have it.
Carolina Panthers running back Rico Dowdle had 183 yards rushing against his former team in a Carolina Panthers win over the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think about that?
Hey, first of all, that's a revenge game if I ever seen one.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle doing this thing. Secondly, didn't Jerry Jones trade Micah Parsons because he said we needed to stop the run?
Yes.
Well, you didn't stop the run, Jerry. What you gonna do now, Jerry?
Come on, Jerry.
Come on, Jerry. Micah Parsons was getting the sacks. Y'all weren't good against the run, so you traded him to stop the run. And then you got beat by the Carolina Panthers. Oh, my. Listen, I love Bryce Young. We love Bryce Young. Family, great. I think he's got an amazing future ahead of him. And he did a really nice job bringing his team back to win that game. But Rico Dowdle, the guy that you didn't bring back,
Nope.
runs for 183 on you? Come on, Jerry. We got to be better than that, Jerry.
Let's hear our top 5 Heisman frontrunners.
Oh, yeah. Top 5 Heisman frontrunners. Throw the Heisman frontrunners on the screen because you'll notice it's no longer 10. It's down to 5. We're getting to the part of the season where everybody can't be on the Heisman list. Okay? And Julian Sain is still number 1 because I believe what he's been doing at Ohio State is being overlooked because people are focusing on how much struggles Arch Manning has had to where they're not paying attention to just how efficient and how much winning football Julian Sain is playing for Ohio State. At number 2, I got Ty Simpson. Why? Alabama, Kalen DeBoer had his back against the wall after week 1 losing to Florida State. And all they've done is rattle off wins like the roll tide the entire time since. Ty Simpson said, I will be better, we will be better, and he has delivered on that. If he wins the Heisman this year, everyone's going to look back at him and say, that's exactly what happened with Tim Tebow at Florida. When Tebow came out, all the blood on the face and everything, and said, no one will work harder. That is Ty Simpson's Heisman moment. Okay. I got Trinidad Chambliss at 3, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana at 4, and Sawyer Robinson from Baylor at 5.
You would.
What do you mean, me? I
You
would.
would.
What? This guy, he leads like the NCAA in every single category that a quarterback can lead them in.
Hey, I'm not mad. I love Sawyer. I think he's great. All right, guys. Hometown highlights. Robert called the Kansas-Texas Tech homecoming game this past weekend, and the tortillas were flying, and so were the penalties.
Yes, they were. And we're going to get to that because, one, I have to say, Texas Tech atmosphere was electric.
Amazing.
Unbelievable fireworks, smoke, drone show. The house was packed. It was loud. They've got the best defense in the country. Ended up getting 9 sacks and 14 TFLs. David Bailey, the pass rusher, unbelievable. Romello Height, the other pass rusher, unbelievable. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker, unbelievable. It was so much fun to watch them go out there and execute at that level. Now, they got some quarterback concerns with Barry Morton being out and getting Will Hampton back in the flow of things. But when it comes to the tortillas, I just have to say this. I am pro tortilla throwing. I am. Why? It's a tradition at Texas Tech. Now, what happened at the end of the game with Joey McGuire and Lance Leipold is that Lance Leipold said that a pocket knife was thrown on the field. And I got to say this. Every Texas Tech fan, I believe, does not agree with a pocket knife being thrown on the field or hitting any member of Kansas's team or anybody in general.
Yeah.
So I think every Texas Tech fan would agree that can't be happening. Don't know if it did. You can only take the coach for his word at that. But the upsettedness about the flour tortillas, that's what bothers me. When has flour hurt anybody?
I'll tell you.
When?
I'll tell you. It didn't hurt anybody, but it hurt the drink.
Uh-oh.
I was watching the game in one of the Texas Tech little booths, and tortillas they were flying the entire game. Like anytime there was a touchdown, anything great happened, people were throwing tortillas. Like I thought it was awesome, cool tradition. Now sucks for the people that have to pick them up the whole game,
Right.
But cool tradition, right? But the people from like the, what they call them, nosebleeds,
Yep.
were throwing tortillas the whole game. And there was people downstairs clearly coming up with food, coming up with drinks. And one lady did get, the tortilla came flying at her. It was like one of those small, sharp tortillas, like almost like a taco.
Okay.
And it like hit her drink and spilled her entire thing. So I kind of felt bad for her drink and she was visibly upset. But, you know, it's part of it, I guess.
What we got next, baby?
We went to a Shabuzi concert this past week, which was awesome because we are big Shabuzi fans. And honestly, I want to say this was my first ever country concert that I've ever been to. Because,
Yeah, I think it is.
you know, you're a big country guy over here with the hat and the boots and your little, that one.
Yeah, bro.
So I had never been to a country concert, but I love Shabuzi. We had such a good time. We went with some friends. Love all of his songs. Honestly, can't pick a favorite one.
Yeah.
Amen is probably my favorite one.
The
Bar song is out.
Bar song is good. He finished with the bar song.
Yeah,
which
he
is really
finished with the
cool.
bar song, as everybody thought he would. So great time, great vibes. What'd you think?
No, I thought it was an amazing time. I thought he did a really good job. Like if I was to critique him, like his crowd work was really good. He
Turned it into a church at one point.
He turned it into a church. We were praying like with our hands out at the pulpit. It was really good, inspirational.
Yeah.
And I thought he like you go to some concerts and they don't sing and they don't do their own vocals, and he did all of it. He sang, he danced, he had a good time. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I think he's going to continue to grow and continue to be a star. And he was grateful. You know, you got to start somewhere. And Shabuzi is one of the biggest acts in the world. And he's going to get to the point where he's selling out NRG and all these other stadiums. So we look forward to continuing to support him and you guys do the same. And, you know, this last hometown highlight, you know, 2 weeks ago, we got in a car accident. And it really, I think we appreciate life. I think we maximize every single day that we possibly can. But this accident really, it shook us as a family to the point of like, man, like our seatbelts saved our kids' lives. We were in a Mercedes Sprinter van, and got hit from the front from a car, an old school Mustang that had lost control. And it hit us in the front edge of our car, shot us into the medium. And we came back out, hit another car, went back into the medium again, came back out, and then went to the medium a third time. And all the time, we weren't driving, so we didn't know what was going on. It was a blacked out Sprinter van. and all we could see was things flying all over the place, coffee going all over the place. And I broke 2 bones in my back, my L2 and L3 vertebrae in my spine. My wife got a concussion and some other smaller injuries, but our kids were fine. And I think for me, that was the biggest thing. I'm dealing with some things with my back, but our kids are safe, and that means everything to me.
Yeah, no, same. When everybody asks, because it went pretty viral online, so when anybody asks, how you guys doing? I'm like, the kids are okay. That's honestly all I care about. I could care less about the concussion, about anything. I feel really bad for Robert's back, but at least he doesn't need surgery. You know what I mean? Like everything came out roses from what it could have been. So the kids, none of them even cried. Like they are so healthy, so happy. They were like, I can't wait to go tell my teacher. like me and Robert are like covered in coffee. Like what just happened? Like traumatized. And they're like, I can't wait to go tell my teacher. Yeah. So thankfully, we're still here. We still get to entertain you guys. And, that's all we can ask for.
And we're thankful for you guys, your prayers, all your well wishes. Yeah. We saw them. We read all the messages. Thankful for all the people who reached out on social media and also personally, to text messages and calls. And really just got to give a massive shout out to Fox Sports as well, because everyone from the top reached out. My team, our crew really took care of us during those couple days where there was a little uncertainty. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to call the game.
We were headed to a Fox game. Yeah. If you don't know, we were headed from Houston to Fort Worth for Robert to call a TCU game the next day.
Yep. And they took care of us. Really, everybody. Eric Shanks, Brad Zager, Judy, my crew, producer and director. You're talking about Bo Garrett and Darren Foster. They really just made sure that we were okay. Our sideline producer, Andy took us also. Andy Bach took us to the hospital. So it was a true family feeling. Have never felt that before. So when Fox tells you, hey, we take care of our own and we look after each other, they definitely did that. So I want to definitely say thank you to them and thank you to you guys, because you're the best fans in the world. And we really do appreciate you guys and look forward to doing these shows every single week and connecting with you guys on social media. So that's the end of our show for the day. Make sure you go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like and subscribe there as well. Leave us a review. Let us know in the comment section what you want us to talk about and who you want us to bring on the show next. Like I said, we got some pretty fun guests coming up. We've enjoyed this process of getting to know new people and try new things and do new things. So again, make sure you go over, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click, 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 click right there with that mouse. And we'll see you guys next time.